We have some companies which are coming to us with their websites which were last updated like maybe 15 years ago. So that's why what we help to the startups, we teach them how to build these no-code websites so that the marketing team can be building the website independently from the main development teams.
Hello and welcome to Startup Passport by Econsulate in collaboration with Takeoff Tokyo. Today we're joined by Igor Voroshilov of Supasaito. You're one of the co-founders, and we'd love to hear a little bit about you and about Supasaito. Could you explain to us about what you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Igor. As you mentioned, I'm co-founder of the Supasaito. I've been here in Japan for already around 7 years, and most of that time I was doing the company. So the Supasaito is focused on helping companies, both startups and enterprises, to build better for web, like build better websites, and in this way cut their costs and kind of like do more with the same resources which they have.
Now, Japan is a very interesting market for websites, isn't it? You have some that are quite different in how you interact and experience it, and then you have some, not to name any government or prefectures, that look like they've come out of the 2000s. How do you approach these people, and what are the challenges that you have with kind of upgrading and kind of updating their online presence there?
Yeah, definitely. We have some companies which are coming to us with their websites which were last updated like maybe 10 or like even 15 years ago. And in these cases, we really need to think a lot about how to do the redesign, kind of like how to understand more what is their business right now comparing to what it was 10 years before. And we kind of like try to adapt it to the modern design rules. So I think like the problem for many companies is that their website are not living. They are kind of like just built once many years ago, and they are not very dynamic. Like they are not showing the present of the business. So we are using no-code technologies which allow clients to make their websites dynamic and update them even daily. So that's the main value which we bring.
Could you give an example of a client who kind of went through this whole transformation process?
Yeah, there is one client, it's called Koyosha, and it's actually like more than 70 years old company, and they are doing like printing business. So when they came to us, they had a website which was built maybe like 10 or 15 years ago. It was like WordPress theme, which you can usually see on the government website, on this like municipality websites. And as the same thing was for the company. They are like already listed on the market maybe like 50 years ago, something like that. So it was quite interesting. And we went through all of the website, checking what kind of information they have, what are the main like CTAs, like what is the main purpose for them to have a website. And of course we adapted it for the mobile because it was not really readable on the mobile as well. We adjusted, like we keep the same colors, the same tone, but like we adjusted the fonts, we adjusted the images and typography, like everything.
Are there any unique challenges in working with maybe a company that hasn't updated in 15 years? I'm just thinking that a lot of the mindsets are, we haven't changed anything in 15 years, why do we need to change now? How do you approach them, and what do you say to people who maybe are stuck in that kind of mindset?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little bit busy working with the clients, so I usually get people who are already very eager to change. So I don't have to kind of like persuade them to make this change. But if we face any kind of problem that like with the websites, let's say there's some pages which are already not being used or something like that. So we need to brush up and to point it out to the clients to show that this is something what is valuable for your business right now, but here like these pages haven't been visited for years. And sometimes we can see the analytics statistics or something like that to show that the change has to be made, to kind of like prove it with the numbers or any other data we can get.
I'm going to change gears for a second because we've talked about kind of the stereotypical Japanese companies and maybe some government agencies. Let's talk about startups. What makes a good website for a startup or a startup or something small that wants to go big?
Yeah, definitely. That's agility.
Yeah.
that's kind of like the thing which I actually had as a challenge when I was doing my first startup. Our website was like custom coded and just uploaded on Google Cloud, and it was not easy to update the website. And that's the challenge which I faced myself. I remember I wanted to update, like put voices of our clients or like voices of our like users, or update some news and something like that. But when you have this custom coded website and you need to, like the marketer always needs to ask a developer to do these updates, it's very difficult. And usually developers, they're busy on building the product, so they do not pay much of their development time to this like marketing needs. So that's why what we help to the startups, we teach them how to build these no-code websites. We usually use Webflow as a no-code tool. So we teach them how to use these tools so that the marketing team can be building the website and developing the website independently from the main development team, so that they don't kind of like get the resources from there.
So you're enabling the marketing team or empowering the marketing team to kind of take it into their own hands, which I think is a pretty big issue because people think with developers being so busy and with the market so competitive, kind of need everyone doing everything that they can and at the most efficient way possible. I wanted to go into the details a little bit more about, you talked about kind of flexibility and agility. Is there any one feature maybe of Webflow that you think has really benefited startups particularly? I know you talked about a potential kind of ease of updating or maybe even a CMS system, but is there something else that startups should look out for when they're creating their website?
Yeah, definitely. One thing which was kind of like a game changer in Webflow itself is how they updated the components feature. So basically the components is the parts of the website which you can pre-design, and then you can use this across the website, changing the copy, changing the links, changing the, even like some parts inside of that, like changing visibility of the things inside. And this way you can even empower kind of like people who do not know how to design, and they do not know how to use HTML, CSS, how to build the pages. They can use these components to build their landing pages in maybe just like half an hour, like 1 hour. They just need to come up with the copy, images, and they can have a landing page or like some other page for a new service or like some solution which their company provides.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate the website process. They're like, we have to have it custom coded, it needs to be this and that, and eventually it takes up way longer to actually get something out there, which is really important for startups, for sending to investors, for government and legal reasons. Is there a common mistake you see startups do with their website, their first website, or maybe just if they finally have funding to make a professional one?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is that they start from the design, of course, first. But actually, like the best idea is not to start from design. The best idea is start from the content. So I always see like companies who are coming, like they want to build this like beautifully designed website, but it missing copies, it missing like some images. So they basically the design without the content inside. And this is a big mistake, because after you apply the content which you want to apply to this design, it will look differently. And in most cases, design breaks. And that's why I recommend to come up with the copy, come up with all of the content before, and then do the design. And the second part is that sometimes designers, they tend to kind of like misunderstand the development capabilities. Let's say if you're using a particular tool, like Webflow or like other no-code tools, you have some limits, like you have some limitations of the platform. And sometimes if designers, they are not familiar with these limitations, they can come up with the designs which are kind of like involving, again, a lot of the custom code to be added. Or sometimes I also see the cases when it just doesn't follow like the best practices for development. A very easy example is that, let's say they design it in the way that some section has tabs on the desktop, but then it turns into like slider or something like that on a mobile. And that's not like it's a very easy thing to change. Like you need to do a lot of customization to make that. So this kind of mistakes, starting from design and designing without references to the development capabilities, probably the the most the most common problem which I see to the startups who, let's say, they got some investments and now they hire some designers to make it, and that's like the challenges which they will be facing after that.
Thank you so much for sharing into the world of websites, both for startups and also kind of traditional companies. Really interesting learning about it, because Japan is quite a unique market for websites, some of which don't even have websites still. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.